Scammers always have very dirty methods. They always tend to play on sensitive strings. Hello, this is Microsoft. We will activate your device. Hello, this is Mark, the owner of Facebook. Give us your password or your account will be closed. Congratulations, you won a Bugatti car. Choose the color you want. Now trade with us and double your profits by 106 million trillion%. The important thing is the endless filth and deception. But the people we will talk about today are people who exploit people's beliefs and defraud them. So come son, my ticket to heaven is only 999, limited edition. Number 5. Sathya Sai Baba. Sai was bitten by a scorpion when he was young, and one of the priests saw him and told his father and mother that their son was a Bhagwan, which means that he was a god because he did not die from the scorpion's sting. From that day on, Satya began to defraud and deceive people because even he believed himself. Indeed, Satya's work bore fruit, and in the 1990s he had followers in more than 100 countries. He would ask his followers to write their problems on a piece of paper and give it to him, after which he would simply solve the problems. But let's be real. Not racist or anything, but is this the face of someone who is being worshipped? It is clear that he uses the papers of his followers in the bathroom and will not even read them. He even told his followers that his SHIT is not like other humans. He said that he takes out gold instead of the chocolate that normal people take out, and that he can also whiten gold from his mouth. Before his death, he told them that he would die at the age of 96, and after 8 years, someone would come to succeed him. But he died at the age of 84 and put his followers in somewhat an embarrassing situation. I mean, are they waiting for the new god 8 years from now, or after the old god reaches 96? Number 4. Sergei Anatolyevich Torop, or the Russian Christ. Sergei was a military man, but he was dismissed at the end of the 80s because he was simply lazy and reckless in his work. I mean, any normal person would have looked for another job, but Sergei had hatred for society and decided to shock everyone and tell them, "I am Jesus." I mean, the man was so serious that he built his own church in a village in Siberia and wrote his own Bible, and the villagers began to believe him, and he actually began to gain followers. And of course, because he is Jesus and unemployed, the first pillar of his religion was to put money in his pocket. You know, because money is the filth of the world and you must purify yourself. Look, my pocket is very spacious, and there is also a strange law that prohibits you from reading his Bible yourself. He must be with you to read it to you at the time that suits him. In September 2020, the Russian state decided to end his fast, and they grabbed him by his long, soft hair and took him to prison. I swear, if he had thought about becoming a fashion model or someone known as a shampoo icon, he would have been a great success. He was charged with establishing an illegal religious organization with charges of extortion and theft. He also manipulates and abuses his followers physically and psychologically, and the biggest disaster is that they found inside his house all the forbidden things mentioned in his holy book, including wine, firearms, and money that he collected from his followers and accumulated. And his refrigerator was full of meat, coffee, and tea, which he forbade his followers. Anyways, good thing he was caught. His poor followers suffered for months or years without coffee or tea. Number 3. Helper of Gods, Alf Lukau. It is obvious that many people will appear claiming to be the Messiah, especially since Christianity is the largest current religion on the face of the earth with more than 2 billion followers. But Alf was realistic and smarter than those who claim to be gods, while they are mere humans. So he told you, "Brother, I am just a helper of gods and I have some miracles." Alf knows some of the unseen and is a prophet. He can also revive the dead, which is really cool because my grandfather died in 1960 and I want to meet him again. But sorry grandfather, there is only one problem, and that is when Mr. Alf brings people back to life, they must actually be alive, and they must be actors with him. The thing that bothers me is that this person's wealth exceeds $1 billion, as he also asks you to subscribe to his YouTube channel. And this is strange because I have not seen a god who needs people's YouTube subscriptions. Also, his followers are really eccentric. In fact, they believe everything he does, and they beg him to intercede for them to enter paradise. And we cannot forget his other miracles with his other actors. He makes this paralyzed actor walk, and he makes this blind actress regain her sight. Well, I mean, let's just close the hospitals and everyone should stop studying medicine, because we have this living legend who can treat people easily. I don't know, but it seems very strange and stupid, especially since his deception is so obvious that even talking about him is very annoying. Number 2. Jim Jones, Religion of Massacre. In the past, America was suffering from many racist problems. Everything was divided into black and white. the markets, the houses, the streets, and even the churches. But Jack Jim Jones did not like this racism in churches, so he decided to build a special church that included white, black, blue, or any color. Okay, everything is beautiful so far. Jones' popularity in America has increased in a crazy way, and as usual, Jones becomes paranoid, like his former friends on the list, and decides that he will stop doing good deeds. He gets a little excited and tells his followers that from now on, he is their supreme lord. Jones began to gather more followers, and the number of people who worshipped him reached 2,000 people. But society did not accept Jones and his followers. And here he decided to take his followers and go to live in South America, and decided to create his own state, naming it Jonestown. I like the name, it was totally unexpected. Jones went crazy, especially since people worshipped him. He began to do crazier things than expected, such as taking the daughters of his followers as concubines, and they could not refuse the order because there was simply no way out of Jones' religion. If one of them tried to escape or leave, he would be simply killed. News of him and his crimes spread around the world, so a journalist and one of the members of the Congress decided to meet with him to obtain information about the rumors that were talking about him. The disaster is that he killed the messengers of the country in which he lived. I mean, because of his extreme stupidity, he confirmed the rumors circulating around him. Bro, any criminal in the world or in history, when the press meets him, he will start playing the role of a peaceful sheep and will tell everyone how good and wonderful person he is and that he must get rid of his enemies for the sake of the country. I think that Jones believed that he was a god and could do everything. As they say, if you lie to yourself, you will believe it. But Jones knew that he had committed the forbidden and that the American government would not let the incident go unnoticed. You know, you can do everything in the world, deceive people, lie, steal, and all kinds of hideous stuff, but never mess around with the government. After Jones discovered the disaster he had committed, he decided not to go alone, and he asked his followers, "Hey everyone, who wants to go to heaven with me?" Of course, everyone raised their hands. Haha, Jones is happy for you guys. Now we all will drink this poison, all children, adults, and we will go to heaven together, because I want that, not because the government is after me and will kill me. And here the largest mass in modern history occurred, where the numbers reached more than 900 people. And this disaster happened because a person did something good and then decided to return that good with hundreds times evil. Number 1. Master Ocho. All the previous people are on one side and this man is on another side. The biggest fraudster in the world. Even Satan learns from him and his thoughts. In Indian culture, there are people who worship cows, objects, idols, a refrigerator, a crocodile, or I don't know, different things, but Master Ocho came and said to them, "Oh people, do you worship animals and inanimate objects? What's wrong with you? Worship me." He started his preaching in the 60s and tempted people with the advantages of his religion. The most important advantage is that you can do anything in it. I mean, any religion that forbids you something, come to us. Not only we will make it permissible for you to do it, but you will receive a reward for it. Drinking alcohol, adultery, drugs, anything you can think of and want is permissible. And you will also get good deeds by doing it. And all these worshippers must wear orange clothing similar to the dress of Buddha's priests. In the first place, people did not believe that they had an open religion without restrictions, and this is what attracted them to the religion of Ocho. Their prayer consisted of dancing and shaking the head very quickly with the drumming at the same time, with some screaming that resembled the screaming of Karen in the street on you when she saw you with your little daughter wearing a pink dress. But the calamity and what distinguishes Ocho from the rest is that the number of his followers has reached more than 5 million people around the world. Anyone who joins the religion must bring with him about $8,000. Otherwise, all his prayers and supplications are invalid and will not be permissible. With a small calculation, this man was a billionaire in the 20th century. Man, 5 million times $1,000, this is equal to $5 billion. Crazy that this man made a fortune by exploiting people. The Indian government was driven crazy by his actions, especially by the gatherings of his followers in the streets. So they decided to restrict him and raise taxes on him. More than $5 million in taxes only on his institute issued, but to no avail. In the end, he got bored of Indian government and decided to go to America. The calamity is that the people who followed him are not as ignorant as we think, but many of them are doctors, journalists, celebrities, and even senior politicians from America. After investigations, they discovered that Ocho was carrying out kidnapping, murder, money laundering, and all other crimes that could be committed. They found that he had more than 90 Rolls-Royce cars and many villas and apartments that he had bought with his followers' money. In the end, more than 20 countries decided to ban him from entering their countries and considered him to be a charlatan and fraud, especially with the cases he was accused of. In the end, he returned to India, and although Indian government could not withstand him, he lived until the age of 90 and died, and his story ended after he deceived millions. The moral of these stories is that you do not need to worship a god who needs your money, or needs to go to the bathroom to relieve himself. In the end, what do you think of the video, and what is the next video that you want? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and let us reach 1 million subscribers as soon as possible, and send me $1,000 to continue making. Okay, goodbye.